I'm Sandra Christensen, and this is the Voice of the People podcast. Today, we are honoring our police. It's National Police Week, an annual week-long observance in the United States that honors law enforcement officers for their service, dedication, and courage. It was established in 1962 by JFK, and it's held every May. So in honor of National Police Week, I have a very special guest with me today. Her name is Stacy Goodman. She is a former detective and an author. And so I'm going to welcome her to the studio today. So, hi, Stacy. Welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yeah. Well, first off, thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service in so many ways. You're not just a former detective and former NYPD. You also serve us in other ways in the Republican Party. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
First, I want to make a correction because everybody makes the same mistake.
Okay.
I'm a retired police detective out of Suffolk County, which is a suburb of New York City, so we're kind of a little different than the NYPD. Everybody knows the NYPD, but yeah, we're a tiny department of only 2,500, and we service the westernmost county on Long Island.
That's amazing. Well, thank you for that correction because I do want to be accurate.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I served for 21 years, retired as a police detective, as you mentioned, and I am currently enjoying retirement. I served at Ground Zero, as you know, after the terrorist attacks after 9/11. Ground Zero is what everybody knows as the Twin Towers, or where they stood, is called Ground Zero. The pile, which is where I work, the pile is the 1.8 million tons of debris that was left after the buildings came down. And it wasn't just the two towers. There was a Marriott hotel that was building number 3 that was kind of situated right between the two towers. And it looked real tiny because it only had like 28 floors or 30 floors. And there were a couple of other buildings that were damaged during the terror attacks. What people and the media doesn't tell you, they tell you about the 343 firefighters that died. They don't tell you about the 76 police officers that were killed, and only one female police officer was killed that day for her heroism going in and out of the building. She left a husband and a 5-year-old. Oh, wow. But what they don't tell you is that a lot of the first responders, and it's not just the police and fire, there were iron workers and other workers down there, phone line workers, cable workers, that all suffered from some kind of ailment from the debris, the toxic debris. They said the air was safe, it was not. And so a lot of us are under the World Trade Center Health Program, which under President Trump's first term gave us United Healthcare, which was great. We had great health care, and we were taken very good care of. Then the Biden administration came in and took that away from us. So the healthcare is kind of tenuous right now.
Well, it's my understanding that you are now an author and you wrote a book.
Yes.
So what's the title of your book, and tell us what it's about?
Okay, it's called The Dust Never Settles, and it's about my police career and my life. My friend said, "You got to write a book. You have an interesting life. You got to write a book." So.
What was that process like, and what kind of things did it bring up? Because I know that some people say when they write a book that it's therapeutic. Some people say that it brings up a lot of trauma. So,
well, both.
Yeah.
Okay. I had a pen and paper next to my nightstand, and when a thought came, I would just write it down. So I had handwritten notes. It wasn't in any kind of order. I actually had to hire an editor and just a great individual who put it all together, typed it up because I don't do computers, and everything was handwritten. And we put it together, and he suggested that we do a little bit more research, because it's mostly about my life and about my experience at Ground Zero.
Okay.
But what he did is he got we did the research on the timing of the attacks. So it's also like a history lesson.
Oh, wow.
So,
That's very
yeah.
good. Well, what kind of things have occurred after the book? Because sometimes when you're an author and you write something, the Lord brings other opportunities. He opens doors no man can shut. So tell us a little bit about some of the things that have happened after you wrote the book.
Well, I've been doing speaking engagements. I've been on local TV and radio. And the book is now being looked at for a movie, hopefully next year, even though this is the 25th, going to be the 25th anniversary. I didn't get it to I guess their local producers in Arizona.
Well, that's very exciting.
And yeah, so I'm very excited. I'll be happy to see it on the screen. So that'll be fun.
That's amazing. Yeah. And as the author, do you get any say in what is presented? Because sometimes, as you know, there's made-for-TV stuff, and there's
the only thing that I ask, because I'm not the experts, the other people are the experts. What I would like to see is that everything about 9/11 is kept real. They can elaborate anything with anything else, but I just don't want them to exaggerate the reality of what I saw and what I did. And I'm hoping,
because facts matter. And as an elected board member myself, I take offense to people elaborating and making fake information. So it's very important, at least for me, to get the true facts out and to, in your case, represent your true voice. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, and I did ask to get a cameo.
Oh, good.
So I'm hoping I get a cameo.
That would be really
That would
cool.
be fun.
Well, you'll have to let us know when that comes out.
Oh, absolutely.
And, so we can all go see it. So do you have a website or anything for promoting the book, or where is it at? Where can people buy it? Is it on Amazon?
It is on Amazon, but I suggest people don't buy it on Amazon because Amazon's not really fair to authors. And I do have a website. They can go onto that website. They don't have to have a PayPal account.
Great.
They could just use their credit card, purchase the book, and I will personally ship them a signed copy. The website is very simple. It's Stacey, Stacey, Goodman, Goodman, book.com, all one word, lowercase, StaceyGoodmanBook.com. And then they can just navigate. There's stuff there's pictures of me on there. There's, if there's events that I'm going to be at, they're also on there. And of course, you could purchase the book.
Wonderful. Well, I wish you all the best and success with that book. I'm going to switch gears a little bit because we're going to talk about how we met. I don't know if you even remember. So you and I were precinct committeemen together right about the same time we joined Legislative District 3, which is the largest legislative district in Maricopa County, in the state, I believe, right?
In the state, and one of the largest ones in the nation.
Mm-hmm. And you and I served together. I was a precinct committeeman for about a year before I got elected as governing board member in the Paradise Valley School District, which encompasses Legislative District 2, 3, 4, and 5. It's 100 square miles. It's one of our largest school districts. So in that time, I was able to meet, you were our Sergeant at Arms. Is it Sergeant of Arms or Sergeant?
Sergeant at Arms,
At
yes.
Arms, okay.
Yeah. I just volunteer to do those things because that's, round peg, round hole. That's where my expertise lies. So I can help out, keep everybody safe, because in these crazy times we're living in, some people take it a little bit too real.
Yes, I agree with
what
that.
the media says. But let's go back to you. I mean, you have done a lot for your community.
I have.
Not only volunteering, taking a lot of crap for being on the school board, and I've ran for school board, so I know how difficult that can be. And now you're running to be
State House of Representatives.
State House of Representatives, which I think is great because, I know you, I know you're real, you're true, you really want to support the people of your new legislative district, LD4, and great LD, by the way.
Yes.
I've done some work for them as well.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you for that. So my heart, as a mom, as a patriot, as somebody who loves Arizona, I'm ready to make that next jump. I've been on the school board, as you know, for 4 years. This is my 4th year. I am the only Republican on that school board.
Yikes.
But I've learned to work with the others because I'm smart and I'm unwavering. I don't back down on things that are important. Student safety, number one. Getting
Yes.
back to basics with reading, writing, math, etc. But what I've learned to do is work with people that I don't align with necessarily.
Right.
And part of that is, as a Republican, we are about merit, facts, and choice. And so in the school district, sometimes being that type of person, being a truth teller, kind of rubs people the wrong way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes the truth hurts, and we need to we need to go back to, it's not about hurting anybody's feelings or it's like saying the sky is blue. It just is. God made it that way. It just is. And we need to accept that and know that it's not our feelings that are getting hurt.
Right.
The Constitution was never about feelings. Our founders, these were God-given rights,
Right.
and every human being should be entitled to them.
Exactly. And so the reason I've made the jump from being on a school board is I am one voice in one school district in one state. And for my heart is for the next generation. I don't know if you know this, but I have a 19-year-old son. He's currently out of school in Boston, and he just finished his sophomore year. And so my heart is to make Arizona and the U.S. better for the next generation. That's why I stay in the fight. And for me to take it to the next level, to run at the state level, I can do a better job rather than just being outvoted 1-4 on a school board.
Right,
So
right. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd really love to see you
be successful in that
oh,
role.
yes, in
Yeah.
the State House. That would be great.
Yes.
Have people like you and Cody Rhyme and LD3 that would really represent us.
Yes.
And that's really important.
Speaking of Cody, he is also a parent like myself,
Yes.
and he is currently serving in the legislature. He was appointed.
Yes, and I'm so proud of him.
I am too.
He's doing an excellent job. He's reaching out to everybody, especially with the Salt River Horses
Yes.
Issue, and he really just common sense, not left or right, just common sense and what's best for Arizona. And who wouldn't want to help the horses, the Salt
Exactly.
River horses? I
Exactly.
think it's great what he's doing.
Yeah, I don't know if you know, but I do have a veterinary background, and I did go to UC Davis School of Vet Med, and so
Oh.
I loved the horsey people. I was studying small animal medicine, but I loved the horsey people because they are true, and you can't BS a horse. They understand if you have fear, if you're confident, if you're scared. And so I did work at Reigning Grace Ranch, which is Rio Verde, which is in your district, District 3. And I worked with horses. I did treatments for them, and I also helped with a lot of student engagement and things like that. And so I do
Horse therapy is
Yes.
very. There's actually a picture of me with a horse in my book. My editor loved the picture so much. When I was younger, I went to horse camp. You know, I was kind of a rebellious kid, and you know, my mother and my older sister thought, yeah, this might be good for her. You know, keep her out of trouble. You know,
Yeah.
little troublemaker.
And that's exactly the mission of Reigning Grace Ranch. They rescue horses, but then the horses in turn rescue the kids. And it's all about faith, family, and just pouring into the next generation, which is my heart. And again, that aligns very well with why I want to run for State House. Speaking of Cody, though, he is such a great guy. When I was gathering my signatures, he already had all his signatures to run in Legislative District 3. He drove all the way to District 4 because I didn't have anybody to go door knocking with a couple of days. And so he was so gracious. That's the kind of person that Cody is. And that's the
Yes.
kind of legislator I want to be.
And yeah, we got a primary coming up July 21st. They changed the date.
Yes.
And it's I know a lot of people, it's just a primary. This is an extremely important primary for Arizona.
It is.
Extremely important. This is pivotal. It's really important that we get people like Andy Biggs elected, people like, Joe Chaplik, people that are going to represent us as a governor and on the national level. We need to really get these people elected to make Arizona the great state that it is. again.
One of the things that I'm doing when I go door to door is people don't realize that our election, though we would like for it to be one day, one vote, many of us, we actually have an election season. So you can vote in person if you're not going to be here in July. You can actually vote starting June 24th. So mail-in and in-person voting starts June 24th, and it runs through July 21st. So I just try to educate voters because, as you know, one size doesn't fit all, but
Right.
we do want to have strong election integrity, but at the same time, we have to follow the laws that we have. And right now, it's kind of election season.
Yeah. Got to go with the flow till we can change things and make them a little bit more concise and better for everybody.
Well, I do have another question for you. So we're gonna pivot again. So we talked about schools. We talked about electing great representation. But I want to ask you, what do you see as the most important thing for this coming election? Because there's a lot of different names on the ballot. There's people shuffling. For instance, I'm going from a school board role to the legislature. You mentioned Joe Chaplick. He's going from the legislature to CD1, which is a congressional race. Tell us just your perspective on some of the shuffling around in the state.
I think it's important. I think we need to right the ship, so to speak. You know, the other side is like, vote blue no matter who. But the problem with Katie Hobbs is she's like a no-show governor. She refuses to debate. She is vetoed. She's called the veto queen because she's even vetoed bills that would be tax relief for the middle and the lower income families. I mean, I don't care what party you're from. That's just not acceptable. And me personally, I've been affected by Andy Biggs personally in a positive way, in that New York State was not giving me my medical benefits that I should have been getting. And Andy Biggs was not even my congressman, and he went to bat for me. And it's my understanding he made a couple of phone calls, and I ended up getting my benefits thanks to him. I mean, really changed my life, really helped me out. And that's what our representatives should be doing. Mm-hmm. And I know you'll do that, but this was big. And Andy Biggs will make a great governor, not just for Republicans, not just for conservatives, but for everybody. He plans on looking at these bills, and he plans on tax cuts, which is really important. We get our gas from California. That's why gas is so expensive, not because of what's going on in Iran. Although that does affect it, but the problem is that gas could be $1 a gallon cheaper if we get it from places like Texas or Mexico. Mm-hmm. I mean, we have a pipeline. We just need to.
What's interesting you say that, because as I've been on the campaign trail, I've heard people like Joseph Chaplick say the exact same thing, that we just need to make better decisions for our state and what's best for the people of Arizona. We live in a constitutional republic, and we are supposed to represent the people, not get in office and then do what we think is best. We have to listen, and I think that's where I'm really strong. I've taken on the role and even been given the title of Voice of the People on the Paradise Valley School Board, and I want to continue that when I get elected to the state legislature.
And I know you will. I know you will, and I know that I know you, and I know that these are the things that you're going to do. You listen to your constituents. You know, I'm sure you as you said before, you're capable of listening to people from both sides of the aisle. So that's why I stay out of politics, because I kind of, you know, as a cop, you kind of do things your own way. Yeah. So yeah, that's why I just wrote the book, and I sit down and I know my place, and that's where I am.
Yes. Well,
real quick, Sandra.
Yes.
We have a question coming in from the chat. It is just, what would you say about a candidate who is too conservative to win, for people that say a candidate is too conservative to win as Republican?
I think that's a funny question to me, because I've been told, because I came from District 3, we had elected representatives in the House, Joseph Chaplik, Alex Culloden, and they are two of the most conservative representatives in the state of Arizona. And so it was assumed that because I came from District 3 and I sold my house, I moved to District 4 because I'm an empty nester now. We paid off debt. I moved closer to the school district where I serve. My commute has gone from 25 minutes to 10 minutes now. But to me, that's a funny question because my role is to serve the people. And my three most important things are to make schools centers of academic excellence, number one. Number two, a strong, thriving economy with lower taxes. And number three, as we've been talking about today, law and order and safety. I don't think those points are too conservative for Arizona. And I will even argue that even the Democrats want that because my family is Democrat. I grew up in New Mexico. My family lives in California and New Mexico. I live in Arizona, so you can read between the lines there. I'm the only conservative in my family. I'm Latina, and I have conservative values, but I don't agree that certain candidates are too conservative for Arizona. Republicans are about merit and choice. So look up voting records, do your due diligence, and look up the candidates that most align with your values. And so I think that's what it is. Stacy mentioned a couple of great candidates, but again, Republicans are about merit and choice, and we are not the same as the Democrats that will tell people, okay, you're running this time, you're running this time. So I think it's a good thing, and I think that having competition makes us all better. And I've told my the other representatives that are in this elected office that I will knock doors for whoever gets out of the primary. So it's not about me. It's not about bad-mouthing my opponents. I think we have great choices. And so I just ask that people do their due diligence and vote for whoever aligns with their values.
Yeah, I've heard that question, spoken to about Andy Biggs. Isn't Andy Biggs, just because Trump likes him? Andy Biggs is a likable guy. He's crossed the aisle. He's liked by a lot of people, Democrats, Republicans, independents. But if you look at his record, his voting record, and you put it right next to Katie Hobbs, he's probably done more for the lower income families, the Democrats, than Katie Hobbs has.
Yeah.
So why not? Give him a shot. Mm-hmm. Give him a chance in office.
Yeah. And I will argue on the school board, I want to set the bar high for all the kids. And so it's interesting that people say that I may be too conservative. I fight for the kids, and I don't care if they're black, brown, white. I want to set the bar high for all the students. And it's not about putting people in boxes. It's not about Democrat, Republican. This is about all Arizonans, right, about our schools, about our communities, our safety, and just making things better for all Arizonans. Right. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, and the left has tried to say, well, if you like ICE or if you like the police, then you must be a Republican. And that's not fair. That's not, everybody should like law and order, like you said. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't you like to walk safely down the street? Mm-hmm. I know I would.
Yep. And I have two sisters that live in San Diego, and they are not registered Republicans, but they are starting to change the way they vote because they see what's happening to their beautiful city of San Diego, yeah. Right? They're a border state too, and
yes, they are.
They want law and order. They want safety. They want nice communities. I will argue every American wants that. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, and they've got some great candidates running in California. Yeah. You got Scott Pratt for L.A. mayor.
Oh, he's been fun to watch.
Oh yeah, his commercials are great.
Yes, and he does it tongue in cheek. He's not really disparaging people, but he truth bombs them, and I think it's refreshing.
Yes,
and I think that
they're real people, like what we were talking about.
Yeah, like myself.
Yes,
I'm a mom, and I could ride off into the sunset. I'm retired now. My husband and I are empty nesters. We could be doing so many other things, right, but I choose to serve because I have a heart of service, and I want to make things better for the next generation.
Absolutely.
Well, I just want to thank my guest, Stacy, today, and it was a joy having you here today. And we need to look for her book where, especially go to her website. Can you tell me that website again,
Yes,
Stacey?
it's StaceyGoodmanBook.com. That's STACEY Goodman, GOODMAN, book.com. All one word, all lowercase. I do speaking engagements. You can have me for speaking engagements. I do book clubs,
Yep.
question and
And
answers.
then that title is The Dust Never Settles.
The Dust Never Settles.
Yep. Well, great. Well, thank you for coming on today. And
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
this was fun.
I'm looking forward to, working with you in the future because our paths cross a lot. We
Yes.
we have common values, and we want Arizona to thrive. And so I think, we talked even before the show a little bit about some of the things happening in the Republican Party, and I think there's an 80-20 rule. We need to move forward in a direction. We have lots of
Exactly.
great candidates running, lots of choice this year. So
Yes.
just do your best to vet the candidates and then vote for whoever aligns with your values.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Well, I would just like to thank my guest today, Stacey Goodman, for coming on. And I just want to remind people that we are having these live conversations every Tuesday and Thursday at 1 p.m. Arizona time. So thank you for listening to my podcast, my live stream, The Voice of the People.